Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Dang. I gotta get this backed up way back here. Oh, bear with me, y'all. It's in my toolbox. Could barely fit in there. All right, y'all. If y'all are tuning in to the live stream after we went live, it's just an in-person or live of me installing this whole back piece on this food truck. I will have my cell phone for those who are tuning in if you want to ask me questions and stuff. Just gotta pull it up on my other phone. Switch accounts. Yes, sir. Here we go. When did Dan say he was coming? Huh? Tomorrow? Yeah, see, you good. You are good. Ooh, it's toasty in here. Oh, they want this to be installed as. Isn't there two separate pieces? Nah, we're not doing that. Let's see. What's up, chat? Y'all got any questions? Just let me know. Installing this back side of this food truck. I decide if I want to cut this. Where my razor at? Cut this little piece out. This one gonna be an interesting one. Hello, hello. What's up, Pardeep? Okay, that fits in there. You have to separate these backing papers. Yeah. Separate, we gotta do. Ah! This top piece. And this top piece. It's back over here. All right. Work that out that way, work that out that way. All right, so took the backing paper off of this top area. Get this laid down. Then we can take the backing paper off of these sides. This out the way. I'll take that. Y'all are speaking in the chat. Get to it in a second. Hey, Lee. Come here real quick. Fucking wrap is sticking to the top of this thing. Hold this real quick. Right there. Got it pinched up in this corner right here. Little rappy rap, for sure, for sure. Slide up. OSHA violation? Let's go ahead and take this off. This one's stupid because they did it in one piece for the back. Crazy. All right, I'm good now. Fucking stay now. All right, so I got one side down. Still gotta pull this middle out. Then we'll be able to glass it. There we go. Now we can glass it out. We just got glass out the top. Cool. Cool, cool. That was a little rough. That was a little rough. So now that we got it all glassed out, we're just gonna work on the door area first. That's gonna give me enough room to pretty much be able to work on everything else. Like when it comes to relifting. So gonna find our areas, the actual door itself. That's the actual door. These are the areas I need to cut out. Take this blue tape off. I left my other phone on the roof. So give me a second, I'll answer questions. And if y'all got any questions about like rap training, any quotes on your car, anything like that, I can answer for you guys. Grab this phone off the roof real quick so I can see the chat. It's still on. Whenever it makes that noise, I click the start button twice. All right. Might need some heat, so heat gun going. Fight some of these wrinkles. All right, so I could go ahead and cut some of these pieces out. Yeah, so we can cut this door out since we know where it ends. Alright, come down, find this other edge all the way down. Cool. Alright, so now we can work this door down in peace. You need to take the card over there?
I can't find shit.
I got a bunch of razors inside of my toolbox. He finally ordered them. What's up, chat? What's up, chat? Y'all got any questions? Need any quotes on wraps? Anything, just throw it in the chat. Got my phone beside me so I can still answer questions. Still. Today we are wrapping the back of a food truck. It's my cousin's food truck, actually. I don't know if the chat is on. Yeah, chat working. Yeah. So story time. One of my first food trucks I ever wrapped. I had no idea what I was doing, and I was given a 12-hour timeline to complete the truck. Somehow managed to actually do it, but I laid one whole side of the food truck. By the time I got to the other end of the food truck, everything was slanted down to the right. So I ended up having to pull the entire wrap halfway off of the trailer before continuing to install it, which I thought, I was like, this wrap is done. Like, my first job failed, but somehow everything came off pretty clean, and I was able to still knock the job out. But good for what? Oh yeah, you can use that. Yeah, I don't know where his little the thing is that holds that, but he took it home. All right, we're starting to get some wrinkles. Relax this film a little bit. Might even want to bust out the soap. You definitely can always learn something. Especially when it comes to rapping. Pretty good skill to have. Recustomize or customize your own cars, or even if it's something you don't want to take serious, you can just do like hoods and roofs and little accent pieces like that for people. Make some money, quick little side hustle. Got some resistance over here. Be very meticulous work sometimes. Oh, I'll be gathering up so many wrinkles down here towards the bottom. Y'all got any questions? Just let me know in the chat. You open the door? I get a little chilly in here. Scratch that. Got another piece on the side of the trailer that I was saving for something like that. Or actually, we could use this. Bunch of extra over there. Yeah, that'll work. Bunch of extra. Way better. If y'all still tuning in, I got a trailer video, one where I'm actually like, teaching, that I'm gonna post to YouTube. So go ahead and give me a subscribe, throw a like in the chat, and I'll be posting that video probably tomorrow. Yeah, probably tomorrow or the day after. It's gonna show how you do the side, how you pre-panel everything, where you get wraps like these for your food truck and stuff like that. Basically how to DIY install this stuff yourself. It's very meticulous work, but if you don't have the funds, here it is on YouTube free for you to do it yourself. It is quite expensive to get your vehicle wrapped by someone else. But you might be able to get the materials for like, depending on the size of your food truck, you get materials for like $1,500, something like that. And if you're very careful with doing it yourself, you could probably save yourself $2,000 install. Even if it's not perfect, still save yourself some money. Unless you're a very meticulous person, then I suggest you get it done by a shop. Either that, or watch a ton of YouTube videos so you can make sure your quality comes out pretty good. Get some hands-on practice too before you attempt to do one of these commercial wraps, because you only get one try. And it looks a lot easier than it actually is. A lot easier than it actually is. But it's actually pretty hard if you haven't ever done it before. Always want to lift the wrap up off of the edges before you tuck it in, because you want it to be floating in the air. So tuck right into the crack. If it's laying on something, then you're stretching the vinyl into the crack, and it's gonna bubble out or peel back a couple days after you do an install. So lift it up off whatever it's laying on, hold it up into the air, and then follow it down with the squeegee. It's gonna make sure it's tucked into that crack with no tension. Then you can go back and cut. Again, taking it off of whatever it's laying on, so you're not getting any tension. And then we're just feeding it into the crack, and we can come back and cut it. And boom, you got a clean door installed. Now, I do not recommend you actually go and try to lay this thing as one piece. I just did it because I know I could do it, but also I wanted the pattern to line up. You do not have to get the pattern to be perfect, especially if it's your first time doing it. You're gonna ruin the entire wrap and have to pay for a whole new panel. And that's the last thing you wanna do when you're trying to save money. So I just want to lift it up off of everything. Get it glassed out a little better. All right, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm just gonna work from the letters down. And we'll do the top last. Look out of here. There's a fly just chilling right there. He seen me and everything. He was like, "What's up, gang?" Bro didn't want to move. About to get stuck to the wrap. I'm getting a lot of micro scratches right now, so spray this down so I'm not stuck torching this whole thing trying to get the mini scratches out later. Chat pretty dead, so I'm gonna charge my phone. Yeah, all right, it's the same thing, both sides. You could go back and forth, lifting it up, making sure you're feeding it into the crack properly. Any tack points you got, you can loosen them up as you go down. Keep the wrap from wrinkling up on you. this out the way now. All right, so coming up on a raised object. I'm just gonna work around it for now. It's one of the tail lights. Bring that all the way down to the bottom now. Now, what I didn't add in the YouTube video that I'm gonna post later is how to work around elevated items. So what I'm gonna do for you guys is we're gonna go over that on the live. So those people who wanted to learn it can come back to the live. I'll mention it in the video. And they can come back to the live and see how to work around elevated items, even though you should be taking everything apart. But if you don't want to, and you want that kind of challenge, then I'm gonna show you how to work around it. You know, I highly recommend it. I'm just doing it because I'm used to working around elevated items, so bring y'all in a little bit closer. Just switch up my angle on this. All right, so got the tail light. It's from here to here, and it's got blue tape on it. Put the blue tape so it's easier for me to work around it. One thing to know is wrap does not stick to blue tape, like, so it'll make it easier whenever you're doing the end. If you have something that you need to work around, just tape it off with like painter's tape, something like that. It's just gonna, believe me, it's gonna help you a lot when working around stuff like that. So we don't want to cut. We want to cut like right at the edge of the tail light. And also the blue tape's just gonna help you from blading anything. So we want to cut right at the edge. We don't want to cut, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to cut right here. We want to cut on it. That way we have enough wrap to feed up to the side of it so we don't have any slivers showing. And now, if you could see on this side, I'm feeding it up to it. And then I still have a little bit of material that I could work with. If this light was able to be moved, like this one is, I could lift it up a little bit and I could finish tucking the wrap underneath it. So if not, you can always just come back and trim it. It has enough give for me to tuck underneath. So that's good. You know absolutely without a doubt there's gonna be no color showing. Granted, this is a food truck, but you know, the rules apply whenever you're doing your own car wrap and you want to be real meticulous with the details. For the top area, want to heat out all the wrinkles. I'm going to get a little bit closer. I'm going to bring the camera back over here. All right, so with this, don't recommend using the razor. Use like, I'm not gonna teach bad habits. Hold on. So come in here with a plastic tool. If it's not giving you enough stretch to pull over the edge, you can come back with the heat gun, soften it up, and I'll make it gooey enough to where you can stretch it over that edge. Now, since we got the blue tape, it's just gonna naturally like let me feed it in. Start to get wrinkles. Come back with the heat gun, soften them up. You don't wanna just cut at it. You wanna go in a circular motion. See how now we got the top edge, some leftover wrap. So same thing applies for the bottom. My BMW making a future on the live. But yeah, same thing applies for the bottom. I'm gonna give it a little heat. Now we're not pulling the wrap this way because I still got this wrap over here and I want it to lay down and be able to tuck under. If I pull it too much this way, it's gonna leave a sliver of white when I go to lay it down. So if anything, pull down here out of the way. You can pull down in this area if you need to get wrinkles out because it's not affecting this side. So we're gonna come in the circular motion. Now for this side, I could go ahead and get all this laid down. If I run into some bunched up material, I could heat it. I could lay my squeegee on it. And then for wrinkles like this, you just want to fight towards them. Fighting them back towards the film. If you get like a wrinkle like that, you just lift it. Give it a little heat. And so my wrinkles are starting to bunch up on this side. You can see it. So we want to give that some heat. See how it softens those wrinkles up. Continue squeezing it towards. Then, like I said, we can do the same thing on this side, where we lift it and squeegee that extra material underneath. All right. Now for the top, I have way too much material up here to just tuck it in like we did the other ones. So want to come up here. I don't want to cut in the crack, but I want to cut close enough to it to where it could be tucked in. And that right there should be enough for it to be tucked in. So it's looking kind of wrinkly at the top. So I just, whenever I lift this, I want to give it some heat before I start trying to tuck it in. And so the top isn't moving, so now I know there's a bolt right here. This is where it's bolted down at the top and bottom. So once you get it tucked in as much as you possibly can, then you could come back, and this razor is kind of dull, so let me just break this real quick. pick that up. I don't want to sit down on that and they cut me open later. But so now we could go in that crack and cut the vinyl out. And pull this little sliver piece out. And then as you can see, no white showing on that. So that's how it's done. Got some little baby wrinkles over here. You get those, just heat it up and use the back of your fingernail. You can scrub them right out. All right, if you feel like that provided you some value, go ahead and throw a like in the chat. Sub, I got a ton of videos like that where I teach you guys how to work around stuff. Just want to give this one some heat. Lift it off the edge. All right, so again, trim some of that out. Tuck what we can behind it. And whatever we can't, trim it away. All right. Yeah, I'm working, man. Working for sure. Let's get y'all. All right, so we got it all squeegeed out. I guess I could begin with my cut on this side. Just want to go back, make sure everything's laid in there. Now these aren't perfect. We got silicone on these edges of this one. So really what you're doing is cutting as close to the silicone while making it look as neat as possible. Like up here is a ton of silicone. I'm just gonna make it look like a clean cut. Call it a day. Yeah, that silicone is crazy. Matter of fact, we'll just cut it on the silicone first. Decide what we want to do from here. See what sticks. That's barely sticking. Trim that out. You can always go back over this with another bead of silicone to make sure the wrap lays down. Could also post heat it and see if anything moves. And it's looking like it'll stay. It's brand new silicone, so maybe it's a little easier for it to stick to that. Because this truck is fresh off this food trailer is fresh off the lot. Versus one that, where the silicone is super dirty. It's gonna be harder, a lot harder for it to stick. So now I'm gonna come to the other side. And lift this wrap up off this edge. Feed it in. Go ahead and cut this bottom edge out. Feed this in. I won't work the top half because you guys can't see that. I'll just save that until after live. There's no way I can get a camera all the way up here. Since we fed it in, trim out this excess. It's coming together. It's coming together. Ain't that right? I said it's coming together, ain't that right? Coming together. All right, so I got some wrinkles on this over here. Actually, let me I'll move y'all to this side. You know, it's just a mess over here that I gotta clean up. Move my ladder out the way. My front? He tinted the fronts too. You said what?
Does it come out in the front too?
In the front too.
Does it come out in the front as well as the back here?
This is the front.
Bro, it's out. I'm talking about other side.
Oh, you gotta take the door off. You don't want to take this door off. Yeah, the last one I took off of an M4, or no, actually an M2. No, those doors aren't fun to take off. They bring back together the same. They're actually a pain. If y'all know anything about BMWs, our boys tint in the window, and if you take the door panels off on this, it is a absolute pain to put them back on. I know my car's dirty, I need to wash it, but
It is what it is.
all right, so let me.
Sí se muele.
Dakota, man. Dakota, if you're watching right now, you suck. That'd be funny if he was watching and he texts me like, "Why you have to say that, man?" Oh, I forgot to move the light. See what we doing over here. All right. So Got too much excess film over here. I'm gonna just cut this out. That cut out. Now, see what we gotta work on. So I know we got some challenges under here. Just remember what I got. All right, so 3 things we gotta work around. So we'll work our way down to that, and then I'll show y'all how to work around that stuff without taking it off. The only reason I didn't take it off is because I don't have the actual bolt head for it. And I don't feel like waiting for Amazon to ship it to me. Because these were special for these food trucks. It requires special bolt heads that you typically can't find in your hardware store. Forget what they're called. Let's get some soap on this thing. Whenever you're doing your squeegee strokes, it's good to have some soap on it. You can see where the last area you was that you squeegeed, but also you can make sure that you're doing 50-50 overlap so you leave no bubbles behind. So if this is the line, I want it to line up with the middle of my squeegee. That way I'm re-squeegeeing the top, but I'm also squeegeeing a new area. So there's no possible chance of like leaving a bubble behind. All right, so we got the top of the tail light. So I just want to cut a little circle. Cut a little circle out first. And bring y'all in closer so y'all can see how I work this one. Bring you down. All right, so this one's a little more complicated. Might even need to bring the light more over this way. So yeah, this one's definitely a little more complicated. We got a lot of stuff we gotta work around. All right. So with this, I'm gonna go ahead and find the bottom of the tail light, but I'm not gonna cut all the way to the bottom. So I'm just split it down the middle to my finger. Open that up. It's gonna help me to work around that piece. So I could glass it out a little bit. And I'm gonna find the bottom of the tail light. Cut me another little circle. I could try to hook the wrap around it. Like this. Glass it out some. So now I got the wrap somewhere where I want it. I can squeegee down to this piece right here. Now the thing about this piece is it has this long little rod that's hanging all the way down here, square right here. So what I'm gonna do here, so since I found the top edge of that, I don't wanna cut on any of these edges. I just wanna make sure I'm in this vicinity, and I'm gonna cut a window, circular window. You don't want any sharp edges because the wrap could rip on you. So I'm gonna cut a window. All right, so we got our window, right? There's the actual piece. It's a little further down. So let's find the bottom. So it looks like the bottom is like right here. So I got room to cut a little bit more. Make sure that rod is in this window. All right, so the rod is in the window. So when I relift this, I'm gonna stick the rod straight out. I'm gonna put the wrap down, put the rod through it, and then it's just gonna be laying flat. So now we know all we gotta do is put the rod through, hook our piece back right here, and we can work around that. Then we still got this little one down here that we gotta work through, but we're not to that point yet. So we're gonna lift it up. We got our window. We get back behind it, put the rod through it, work it back down. All right, so we got our rod through. First thing I wanna do to get it out of my way, I'm squeegee back down. Now I'm gonna find some tape. I could just take the tape off the rod. Make sure this rod is out of our way because we already accomplished that task. We're done with it. So worked around the rod. Now we gotta get our piece hooked back down here again. We got that. We got our sides over here. Lifted a light so we could feed them in. Now, we want to get our heat gun, relax the film around it so we're not fighting wrinkles. I'm gonna squeegee away from it. Squeegee away. Take some of the excess film away from the tail light. Go ahead and start feeding it into this crack over here. All right, so now we have it encompassed. We can work our way around it. Go ahead and squeegee down the sides. Some more heat on it for the bottoms. Let it cool a little bit. Then squeegee the bottom. Get some on the top. Let it cool a little bit. And boom, tail light's done. Now, since we pull the wrap away from tail light, we got a little tension here. So I'm just gonna grab the wrap and I'm gonna heat it and pull in this direction until I get all this tension out. Don't wanna have to fight none of this stuff. Pull the wrap away from this area. Encompass this piece too. Now we can work up to that. this wrap out of the way. Yep, too easy, right? What's your OnlyFans? I ain't got no OnlyFans. I got a YouTube though. Only rap. So relax out this film. We got our last obstacle coming up with this third, this last little, I think it's a license plate light, even though this person doesn't have a license plate yet. Saying this person, my cousin doesn't have a license plate yet. This is my cousin's future. All right, so just working the vinyl down. So we get to this next obstacle. So for this one, I just want to heat right above it and then give it a little stretch downwards. And whenever I cut this, I'm gonna cut a little oval, not too big. It's more like a rectangle, ain't it? A little oval. And if it could stretch, then you're good. If not, then you have to trim it a little bit more, but it looks like it's going. The reason I stretched it down a little bit is because you're gonna have a bunch of material bunch up on top. And we're gonna wanna keep the tension. We don't want too much material building up around it. So we wanna keep the tension as it rolls down. A little bit lower. So now just heat around it. Continue to pull it down if you can. Take a look at it, see what we got left. All right, so we're coming to an area where I'm gonna have to trim. So trim a little bit, not too much though. Continue to work it down. Get some wrinkles and pop it back up a little bit, give it some heat. All right, so we got the top area laid down. Now we just gotta work the sides. So I'm gonna heat from the bottom up. U-shape heat. And I want to pull the wrap out like that. So pull it out and down. This helps me to be able to encompass it. Now we can create that barrier and start working the wrap back into it. Plus we can go ahead and squeegee the rest of this out. heat over here. This area needs a little stretch. Bunch of little wrinkles. Just keep those out. All right, so for this now, to feel around, see what we got left. We can do a little bit more trimming. Trim that. Trim this. Trimming it is just gonna allow the wrap to be able to relax a little bit more while you're working it around it. Give it some more heat. Remember squeegeeing in a circular motion to try to prevent some of those wrinkles. If you can't prevent the wrinkles, that just means you need to pick the wrap back up, pick it up a little bit, give it some more heat. If I could glass it myself a little bit before squeegeeing. Top area got some more wrinkles. Ugh. Hold this up with my razor when I'm squeegeeing to prevent some of the wrinkles. See, a little bit more heat. All right. Now we can finish squeezing the rest of this thing up. Bunch of wrinkles piling up. Just relax it. Give it a little tug, nothing too crazy. And then continue. All right, so now we could trim that out. And I could get these trimmed out, but I'm actually finna take my lunch. So last thing I have to do is work this top edge, but the back is pretty much done. This is how the side looks. And if y'all need help doing trailer wraps and stuff, like I said, I'm gonna do a YouTube video, probably post it either tonight or tomorrow, showing how you could do a whole side by yourself, showing how you pre-panel this big piece, how you roll it out, pretty much everything you need to know, right? And then you just see me do the back, so you can refer back to this video on how to work around items and stuff like that, or how to work around, you know, tail lights and stuff like that that you can't take off, which like I said before, I definitely recommend you go ahead and take everything off if you can. But if you can't, I showed you how. And like I said, video will be posted today or tomorrow. If you like this content, or if you feel like I provided you any value today, go ahead and throw a like in the chat before you leave. And I'll see you guys next time.